What's up, ladies?
Hi.
What's up, Julie? It's ladies
Hey.
featuring Matt. What's up, Milagros? What's up? Is
I'm
that
just holding it
Jory?
together for the men.
Yeah, bro, you gotta represent. Is that Jory? Is that my Jory? What's up,
Yes,
Jory?
it's your Jory.
Oh, we
Hi,
got a few
Jory.
gentlemen in here.
It's Lindsay's Jory.
I will fight you, Lindsay. Yo, Jory, take out the shirts.
I
Repping.
think I left mine in Colombia.
Damn shame. I'm gonna sell it for $1,000. All right, what's up, guys? I think this is good enough to get started. So, if you got how many of you guys follow me on Instagram? Raise your hands. I can see everybody. Also, there's a lot of you guys with their cameras off. It's very lame. Probably robots. Should we kick them out, Lindsay? They
Mm.
might be robots. What's up, Baton? Man, how do I pronounce your name?
Hey, hey, how you doing? It's Botond. You said it very well.
Baton. I just got to make it more European. Baton. Welcome, brother. You and Matt holding it down for the gentleman. All right, guys, welcome in. I was just telling Lindsay, this is the first time I'm doing this training and this presentation style. So we're gonna go into some pretty solid stuff here. Lindsay, can you drop my Instagram in the chat, please? If you guys haven't met Lindsay, she's on my team, rock star. If you want to pin her video real quick, and that way you can see her really big on your screen, you'll notice that her skin is just peeling off her face because we just did our 9-day co-living retreat here in Colombia, and everyone got really sunburned on the last day, including Lindsay. So anyway, I'm just joking. Don't pin her. All right. Let's by the way, I found out if you're under 21, you can't follow me on Instagram. That was brutal news to some of the newbies that came into the community. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is actually let me get a sense for all of you guys. Drop in the chat for me. Who's a setter? Who's a closer? Who's new to the industry? Who's not in the industry? Yeah, who's a founder? If you're a founder, we get some of those. Yeah, you're a closer, Jory. Fucking dog. What's up, Rachel? Good to meet you. You're new. Akila. 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 What's up? Closer, setter, newbie, closer, new, setter. Badass. Miss Edna, it's always a pleasure to have you. Edna's the mom of one of my one-on-one students, so it's always a pleasure to have you here. Okay, cool. And let me know what offer you guys sell, please. If you are in an offer, what do you sell, or what niche or industry you're in? Drop that in the chat for me. I will do my best to tailor this to you guys. You should get your mom to join, Jory. We love moms. Career coaching, business coaching, dating offer, seller financing, med spas, cool. One of my clients has a med spa offer. He does really well. Parent coaching, that's cool. I've seen those around. Those are cool. B2B, functional medicine testing. Oh, Celia. That's probably a badass offer to sell. AI. Okay, fantastic. Cool. Sweet. Cesar, how we doing, bro? Good to have you in here. Okay, cool. So, how many of you guys are familiar with the concept of reframing? Just put a, I don't know, put a one in the chat. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to see everyone in a second. Okay, a lot of people. Sweet. So if I brought you off mute, you would reframe one of my limiting beliefs right now. How confident on 1 to 10 are you that you can do that? Cool. 0, or at least you're honest. Okay, cool. If you got, how many of you guys have been on these before with me? Put a 1, and if you're new, put a 2, so I know who to bully and pick on. Just kidding. We're not going to do that. Okay, cool. Sweet. Some people returning. Okay, so you guys have been here before. I keep these as engaged as possible. I don't want to just talk at you for the entire hour that we have. We're going to go into the concepts, probably about 45 minutes today. It might feel high level at some point. So if you have questions, write them down. We will do, like always, 30 minutes of Q&A towards the end. This is being recorded. Is it being recorded? I think my Fathom's in here somewhere. Yeah, recording will be sent out tomorrow, and it's typically live for like 3 days, I believe. So we'll send that out as well. Okay, cool. So let's dive in, guys. This is the first time I've like put together this specific presentation. I'm going to talk about how I learned reframing. The way I learned it was through lived experience. Like someone reframed the shit out of like the most broken beliefs that I had at a certain time in my life, which then led me to get into sales. And with very little sales training, I think I had read Jordan Belfort's book, Way of the Wolf, which is a good book, by the way. I got to like 10K in comms like pretty fucking fast because I was just like doing to my prospects what this specific person did to me on one phone call. So I'm going to walk you guys through that story so you understand like where I come from and like why it clicked for me. And then I'm going to give you guys specific examples and we're going to workshop it for each of like, I guess for like the common offers in the industry. So I'll give you guys specific things that you can use. And then we'll do like a Q&A and we can workshop stuff for your offers. Sound good? Yes, cool. Thanks. Sweet. Okay. I need a social validation, guys, or I have no soul existence otherwise. The book, by the way, just kidding. The book is Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. Okay, cool. Let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen. I don't think I need to share sound. If you are going to get it, get the audiobook. Okay, so it's true, guys. I was a financial DQ. I'm actually going to make a new set of shirts and it's going to say I was a financial DQ. Everyone knows what a financial DQ is, right? Put a 1 in the chat because I can't see you while I'm sharing. Does everyone know? Yeah, cool. I was a financial DQ. I was someone that if I had gone through a typical application funnel, the setter would not have passed me off to the closer. Guaranteed. I had no money. I had a very inconsistent way of making money. And my credit score was like low 500s. I didn't even think you could get that low. So I had no money. I wasn't paying my student loans. And there's one conversation that I still think about to this day. And this was like 6 years ago. That changed the trajectory of my life, which is why I firmly believe like sales has the power to do that. We're all in this industry to make money, but also because what we sell is transformational. So this is why I think it's really important that you're all on offers that you have conviction in. Now, when you're starting off, that might not be a luxury, but as you build your skill set, you will find much more conviction when you know what you sell gets people results. Okay. And if you guys have been following my Instagram at some, in the last few months, how many of you guys have seen the love of my life here? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 0 if you haven't seen this because I sold her like 2 years ago. Okay. This was I bought this once I started making sales money. It was like a $35,000 RV that I imported. And it was like 25 years old. And I couldn't finance it. I had to pay it in cash. Anyway, this has been on my Instagram a bunch. But before this was this wildebeest of a van that I lived at. I don't think I've shared this on social media because it's kind of embarrassing. Marissa, you're off mute. It's fine. You can laugh. Yeah. So, dude, look at this piece of shit. I got this for like $2,000. There's me on the left, like sleeping out of it at like some beach in Mexico. God, look at that. Look at that. I was so slim back then, though. And then I ended up getting it spray painted, and I really liked it. But when I was sleeping in this thing, like I was dead broke. Okay. A reason I bought it was because I was like working for this startup that wasn't paying me, like they were paying me in equity. And I had like completely destroyed my trading account. So I ended up buying this for like $1,800. They wanted $4,000. I negotiated it down to 1,800 somehow. And then the transmission went out like 3 weeks later. So karma was on me. And so I'm going to give you guys a quick story time. Okay. Actually, I'll ask for permission. Is that cool? Can I give you guys my sob story? Just give me a yes in the chat, please. Sob. Yes. Okay. I fucking hate sob stories personally. When I see all these people on Instagram, like this was me before sales, and they're like crying, like this is me after sales. You will cry in your sales career 1 or 2 times. Okay. It doesn't go away. Same thing in business. Now, for me, so I was in my early 20s. I got into crypto quite early on. and me and my friends were making a lot of money. I had took a trading account from about 4 or 5 grand to about $400,000, and made it over the course of like a year and a half, 2 years, and then I kind of blew through it a lot quicker because I was riding more of the market than I was actually my skill set. And I got really aggressive. And then once the trade started going against me, I got even more aggressive and I got very emotional and ended up like trading on leverage and then burning my account. And that's actually how I got into sales because I had no money. I think I had $800 in my account. I was working for this startup, like a blockchain startup, because we were trying to ride the trend in the market. Whole bunch of things didn't work out and had no money left. And so I was a financial DQ, meaning, again, like I said before, I had no money. I had like $800 in my bank account. My credit was shot. And I was working side gigs and shit like that just to like make money, but I was living out of the van, so I didn't really need to pay rent. So I was sleeping out of the car. And this was my bank account. I've shared this before, and I screenshotted this one time because I was just sort of sitting there like, dude, how the fuck did this happen? Like I was 25, maybe 26. I was like, my goal is to be a millionaire at 26, and I was halfway there. And then like this is like the reality, and it happened within 6 months. So it just like really just shook me. And I call it the divide because me and a friend of mine that were in the crypto world together, as we were coming out of it, like clawing our way out of it, he got into sales. He got into a sales role, but I was still working at this startup. And he, every time we would go surfing, like he was going through like this emotional intelligence, like this leadership program. And every time we would catch up, like they were doing something bigger and better at their in their business, right? He was like, first, like he was like, dude, I'm closing, like this is awesome, like I have a remote job. Then like he was like, dude, we're scaling, and we cracked our first 100K month, cracked our first 200K month. And me, meanwhile, was still working the startup, not making any shit money. And it really started like to like frustrate me because I was like, dude, like we were both on the same level. How is he growing so quick? What am I not doing? What am I doing wrong? And you guys have seen me share this before. Put a yes in the chat if you've seen this. If not, I'll define it a bit. But this is where like was the first like lesson of like we live in the stories that we tell ourselves. Okay, this is going to be really important for your understanding of reframing. We live in the story that we tell ourselves. And so the two stories I was living in was that we were waiting for an investor to make money, and that I didn't have money at the time to invest in XYZ. So it's really important, right? Now, when my buddy, he's going through this like leadership program. He calls me one day and I'm like sitting in my van. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was sitting in there. And that conversation changes the trajectory of my life because he ends up selling me into this leadership program, which had nothing to do with sales, by the way. It's about just like elevating yourself as a leader in your own life, right? So if any one of you have heard of Landmark, this was similar to the Landmark program, very, very powerful. And on that call, he identifies two things. One, the story that I hope an investor comes in, okay? And I remember this verbatim. I remember me telling him, yeah, man, like I just really hope that an investor comes in so we can get the runway we need. And then like everything is going to be dandy. And he was like, I don't know, man. I feel like I've heard you say that for the last 6 months. Like it sounds like you're just being a victim. And yeah, that shit pissed me off. That like genuinely pissed me the fuck. I was like, you got some fucking balls to tell me that. Who do you think you are? And it pissed me off because he was right. Okay. The second thing he helps me realize was that, dude, the reason you don't have money is because you're just doubting yourself. Like you're playing small. And he starts asking me these sequences of questions. Why do I see what you're capable of, but you don't? Why are you playing small? You say you have all these ambitions and things you want to do. You want to travel South America. You want to work remote. Why aren't you putting yourself out there? You don't have any money. Well, of course you don't. Do you doubt yourself? Why? Why do you do that? Why do I see someone that can, probably crush it in sales, but you don't even want to get a sales job? The things he was telling me. Then he asked me something. He's like, was there a moment in your life where you wanted something so bad that you did everything in your power to get it? And I was like, yeah, actually, when I moved to California, I like I worked 7 days. I stacked up as much money so I can like buy a truck, pack all my shit, move to California. And then he asked me, like, what would your life look like if you could harness that energy and that urgency every day? You're not broke. You're just not getting resourceful because you feel like you're owed something. Because you felt like you were close to becoming a millionaire, but you didn't. You feel like you're owed something. So you're holding on to something and you're just allowing time to pass you. All this happened in like this fucking 40-minute conversation. When's that going to change? And then he asked, can I show you or can I share with you the program that's really helped me get out of my own way? And so all that to share, like what can really happen on one sales call. So for that program, by the way, it was like $4 or $5 grand. I can't remember. I had $800. I gave him 500 as a commitment. Then I went out and gave someone else some money so I can borrow their credit card so I can pay for the rest of it. Okay. I was like, yo, I don't have all of it. Can I give you some money as my word that I'll pay this back? I just really need support because I was embarrassed to admit that I was fucking broke. Okay. So there's like my sob story. Like it's like I don't like calling it a sob story because like it's motivated me, got me to where I am. And I think it was really important. But had that not happened, that one conversation wouldn't have happened, and that probably wouldn't have put me on the path into sales. So the program I ended up doing was about emotional intelligence. That was the foundation of what makes effective leaders. Okay. And because of that, I ended up meeting an offer owner in that program who hired me as a setter. And then here we are 6 years later. So what we're going to talk about today is the reframe method and how you can apply it to sales goals. Okay. Now, there's like this like popular thing in sales now about congruency, right? That typically comes from a lot of male trainers that you should be in really good shape if you want to help your prospects get over their own limiting beliefs. Have you guys heard that or seen that before? Put one in the chat. It's not necessarily wrong, like good, bad, right, or wrong. There's a lot of females here, right? And you guys don't need to be shredded and on high testosterone to get people out of their own way. You just have to reflect on the things you've overcome in your own life and think about the fears or the beliefs that needed to shift for you to get new outcomes to, in my opinion, to feel congruent to help others out of their own way. Okay. Does that resonate for you guys? Cool. Unless you ladies are on high T, I don't think it's not the prescription for everyone. I took this screenshot, like I said, on the left, and this is a commission check on the right about 18 months later. Okay. Now, one thing that's really important to understand, like limiting beliefs, we all have them. They come in different forms at different levels. Okay. Expect that. They're not right or wrong. They just are. But they are true to the person because that's what they know. That's what they've experienced. And so it's reinforced. You guys with me? All right. This is, most of you guys know this. Right. Okay. That also means that it doesn't make them inherently true. It is not a fact. It is neutral. We choose to believe them, which means we can choose not to. Okay. One of the most powerful things I learned in that program is like, so the mantra I said before, right? We live in the stories that we tell ourselves. Stories mean like beliefs, the things we tell ourselves, the things that our experiences or the people that we've been exposed to in our lives gives us a certain set of beliefs. Okay. Those beliefs are stories, right? Like that's the way I define it. It's a story that I tell myself. Doesn't mean it's true. So if we're going to live in stories, it's really powerful. I'd write this down. If you're going to live in a story, like pick one that serves you. Right? So when you're thinking about your own life and things you're accomplishing, like what stories are you living in that aren't serving you, aren't serving the outcome that you want? And it could be very minor, it could be major. And we're going to go into the exact examples that you're going to use on your sales calls. Okay. Did I lose anyone yet? Okay, you guys in the chat, you guys with me? Is that a yes? It's landing. Good. Thank you, Lena. So what is reframing? Reframing is shifting a broken belief, call it a belief, shifting one belief into another one, into one that's required to get the outcome, okay? I said this in one of my Instagram videos, like people come to sales calls with baggage. They come with certain beliefs that dictate the actions and that dictate the results that they're getting. So what are limited and broken beliefs? Are the beliefs that don't serve a person in accomplishing the things they say they want. Okay. The things they say they want. It's very key language right there, because we don't want to put our biases on people and never want to make any assumptions. But someone's beliefs, again, it's not right or wrong, it's just what they are, dictate their actions, and their actions dictate their results. On a sales call, there are certain beliefs required to make the sale. And some prospects will come and they'll have those beliefs. We call those laydowns. Someone comes on a sales call. It's like, yeah, man, I know I'm fucking up with XYZ. I need help with this. What do you got? Right? Those are like the easiest people to sell because they already are aware, or they consumed enough information that it clicked. Other people haven't. And that's why you all have a job, right? And why your offer owners aren't sending payment links is because people have these broken beliefs that the marketing it can't do enough heavy lifting, which is where your job comes in, to identify those, to shift them to get new results. Now, I want to be clear, there's a few people in here selling B2B. This can be different for B2B. When I sell recruiting services to 7 and 8 figure founders, I'm not talking limiting beliefs. Okay, I would get hung up on. But for most of you guys are selling some form of B2C, this is going to be present. It won't always be present on every call. I reviewed a one-on-one student's call today where the urgency was this man was 70 and he didn't have enough to retire. So while there was a limiting belief around not taking enough responsibility, that didn't need to be uncovered, right? There's different forms of driving urgency. But for the majority of your calls, I'd say 60 to 70% of them, right, there are going to be broken beliefs to identify. Cool? I don't like saying one thing and then you guys feel like you're going to apply it to every single call when that might be the case. Okay, that sound good? Make sense? Clear? Yes? Dope. Okay. So let's talk about some broken beliefs. And then during the Q&A, we can talk about more offer-specific ones. But here's some really basic ones, like logistical broken beliefs, right? I don't have time. How many of you guys have heard that on a sales call? I'm a single mom, so I don't have time. Put a yes in the chat for me. Or, well, you know, I'm 20 years old, so I don't have money. Right? Or here's one, like, I'm just looking for the right thing. I'm just looking for the right thing. Like, none of this is a human taking full ownership for the things they do or don't have. So it makes it a broken belief because it's outside of them. Okay? Then there's deeper core beliefs, or deeper core limiting beliefs, right? I'm not good enough. I can't be a certain way. I don't want to be seen a certain way. Fear of judgment, fear of criticism, right? Abandonment issues, isolation, childhood traumas, that kind of stuff, which will come up on sales calls. You guys are overpaid therapists. We love it. Okay. So this is a very simple framework. So if you guys want to take a screenshot or write this down, and we're going to go into live examples. Okay. So when you actually, let me show you guys something. How many of you guys have seen this before? Put a 1 in the chat. How to sell any offer. It's like a flow chart I go through when I do like the other type of training. You guys let me know. Yes, Kirsty. Yes. Perfect. So, you know, this is like a very simple flow to, you know, how to sell every offer. But the reality is, like, you can have 2 reps selling the same thing with the same script, and one of them will outsell the other rep. In my opinion, it's because one of them understands when to take their shots in between the questions in the script. Because you can have, like, some of the offers you guys sell on, like, some of the scripts are not bad. But you have to know in between each question when to take your shots on the language and the broken beliefs in between. And I think that's why it's really important to understand reframing, because as you're asking someone questions in your script, like, you know, what's prevented you from XYZ, and you hear language that is masking a deeper core belief, if you don't take your shot on it when it's there and apparent, it's going to come up in objections and it's going to be much more of a battle. Okay. So when you identify these things in your discovery, we want to turn the external internal. Okay. I don't have enough time means I haven't prioritized my time effectively. right? I don't have enough money means I haven't learned how to tap into the money all around us and get resourceful. This is how we go from external to internal. Someone can't accept responsibility for tolerating or causing a problem, right? If they keep externalizing, they're not going to buy because they don't feel like it's their problem to solve it, right? So here's a very simple method. First, if let's say you're like on a sales call and someone mentions that, like in your discovery, it's like, I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's just tough because I'm a mom and I don't always have enough time. Like, you got to take your shot on that. Hold on. What do you mean? So this is what I mean, clarifying and defining. How do you mean that you don't have enough time? Can you help me understand? You always want to lead with curiosity. Okay. You don't want to make any assumptions. People have gone through shit that you don't understand. So don't pretend to be like more than just a question asker and a problem finder. Okay. So lead with curiosity. Why? How come? What do you mean? When you've identified that it is like, yeah, it's just, like just really hard. Like I work a job and I have a family at home. Okay, this person feels like they're doing the most that they can, but clearly they're not if they're stuck in the same situation. So if we've identified the belief that we now need to reframe and shift, we now ask for permission. Cool. Can we talk about that? Can I ask you a question? Can I share a perspective? Can I share a story? Can I challenge that? Some form of permission-based question. Because if you don't, people will defend their limited belief. Okay? Then you can come up with an analogy or a challenge question. Right? So when I used to sell to men, right, I didn't have enough time. Can I share a perspective around that? We all know that single mom with 3 kids that's, in incredible shape and still makes it to happy hour on the weekends. What's the difference? Why do you think she's able to do it? Why aren't you able to do it? Can I like put my coaching hat on for a second? Do you think like if we keep holding on to that way of thinking, we're ever going to make time for the important things in your life? So for this conversation, can I ask that we put that aside and we let that go so we can actually help you get to where you want to go? This is like an example of reframing. I don't have time to inserting a new belief where they make time. Does that make sense? So this is level 1 so far. We're going to go deeper into this. Can you guys put a yes in the chat? And if I'm losing, if I need to slow down and talk slower, let me know. Just kidding. Okay, cool. So let's go through some examples. I don't have money. Can I put someone on the spot? Who wants to be brave? We'll go through it together. Don't worry. I won't bully you. All right. Shy. Railim. How we doing? How do I say your name?
Shiraylam.
One more time.
Shiraylam. You can call me Aileen.
Haley. Okay, love it. Cool. So with the example I just shared, I'm going to share my screen so you have it.
I'm gonna do perspective, right?
Well, let's workshop it out,
Okay.
and then we can role play, right? So if someone says I don't have money, right? Is that an external or an internal?
External.
External, right? So what would you want to do if someone says early on in the conversation, money's just been tight, that's why I haven't started a business? What's the next thing?
To make it internal, to let him know that he can get resourceful if he chooses to be.
Exactly. But before that, before we start talking at them, what would we want to do first?
Reframe it.
Before that? I put it on the screen for you.
I'm sorry?
I put it on the screen for you.
Oh, clarify? Oh,
Mhm.
ask why? Yeah, sorry. Lead with curiosity and ask why he says so or why he
There you go.
feels so.
Exactly. Then reframe, then challenge or let go. So I'll go ahead and I'll be the salesperson in this example. So let's say I'm in the discovery, I'm asking why you haven't started your drop shipping business in the past. You say I haven't really had the capital. Go for it. Go for it. Just say like I just haven't really had money. Things have been tight.
I didn't really have the resources to
Hmm.
start what I wanted to be. I've
Okay.
always wanted, I've been looking into it, I've been
Yeah.
YouTubing it, but every
Well,
time
can we talk about that for a second?
yeah, sure.
When you say like you haven't had money, like how do you mean?
Well, like when you start like bills paying the bills at the end of the month,
Mhm.
you are kind of left with nothing to invest.
How long has that been going on for?
Honestly, I've been looking into this maybe last for 6, 7 months. I've been looking
Yeah,
into making money for a long
I
time,
got you.
but drop shipping was like last six
The
months.
one, okay, 6 months. Can I share a perspective with you?
Yeah, sure.
Like not having the capital, do you see why that's the exact reason why this is something that you should actually like take seriously and implement? Do you see why I say that?
Yeah.
Right?
Uh,
Because right now, like how are we ever going to make enough money to get out of pay like living paycheck to paycheck if we don't make more money?
yeah, I've been thinking that, but I'm really like I don't know how can make it work.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's why we're here is to figure it out together. But what I want to talk about is this way of thinking. Because if we don't shift this way of thinking that I haven't had the money when there's money all around us, how are we ever going to put ourselves in a better position to get new outcomes if we keep holding on to that same way of thinking that's brought us to where we are? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it totally makes
So,
sense.
at least for this conversation, do you think we can let go of this like narrative of I don't have money and put our heads together to get resourceful if this is the path that makes the most sense for you?
Yeah, yeah,
You
definitely.
sure? You can say
Yeah,
no. Okay, cool.
definitely.
Thank you for being my prospect. So that's an example. This is like level one right now for I don't have money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is Megan talking shit in the chat right now? Where is she? Where is she? Megan, I'm gonna have you role play the next one.
I wasn't talking shit.
Okay, cool. Did that make sense for everyone? Yes. Cool. Cool. Okay, let me go back to this. Megan gets a pass because she's a one-on-one student. Level two. I don't have time. Who wants to give it take a stab at it? Because this is one, by the way, I don't have time. In most B2C, you guys will hear this in your discovery. Okay. Most B2C, you will hear it in your. All right, Megan, cool.
I,
Megan's
lo
Megan's been
I
on one
love this
lately.
one. I love this one.
All right, cool. Let's have you go with Julie.
Am I the
Julie.
salesperson?
Yeah, you're gonna be the
Okay.
salesperson. Cool. Let's have Julie Schring. I'm bad with names, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
All
not great.
right. Julie, you're gonna be the prospect. Megan, let's just say it's your ecom offer. You're in your discovery, and Julie was like, "Yeah, like this all sounds great. I just haven't had the time because I have a family." Go for it.
Like she already dropped that on me.
Yeah, why don't you go take it from there,
Okay.
Julie? Just say I don't have time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just super busy. I have 3 kids. I have 2 jobs.
Hmm.
I just don't really have time for any of this right now.
Yeah, I can hear that. I talk to a lot of moms who want to do this to spend more time with their kids. I guess like for you, do you feel like it's a matter of not having the time or not prioritizing the time?
Probably not prioritizing, but as a single mom of 3, it's hard to really get out of my own way to do anything for myself when I have little ones that I need to take care of.
Yeah, it makes sense. I talk to a lot of moms who want to do this for the same reason, to have extra time for their kids. So like I guess if we put that aside, like time, kind of external, I think you just mentioned that you might have the time to prioritize to this.
Mm,
I'm butchering,
yes,
I'm butchering this. I'm butchering this kind of.
it's okay.
Just to give her talking
So
shit.
so like because knowledge, familiarity, time, like those are all external, right?
Mm,
Like knowledge you could go get from a book. I'm sure you could shave off like maybe an hour a day to find the time. So I guess like if we put all that aside and look at maybe what internally has slowed you down, like what do you think has been the internal roadblock stopping you from starting a business?
I think I just feel guilty taking time for myself when I feel like I should be spending any free time with my kids.
Hmm. And like, I totally get that. Like, I'm a child of a single mom. She worked 3 jobs to like support us. I totally get it. So like, that's also the reason why we're here, though, right? Is so that you can
Mm,
spend more time with your kids.
right,
So you
right.
can't also let the problem be the symptom. I guess like for you, do you feel like you could prioritize some time to learn these skills to increase your income, to spend more time with your kids, and at the same time, that doesn't mean that you're not less of a mother or love your kids any less?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because like I guess that mindset of like I don't have the time, like what has that costed you thus far in not starting this business?
Fire. Absolutely fire. Thank you, Megan. Very good. Yeah, you were like a little clunky in the beginning, but you saved it, which is going to happen on a live call, by the way, guys. Like you're going to trip up here and
Yeah,
there.
it's
I
not
just
all perfect like they make it out to be on Instagram.
on it. Very good, Megan. I'm going to give you a couple coaching pointers right now. Don't forget to ask for permission. Can I share a perspective with you? You did really well normalizing. Can I share a perspective? Does it matter we have time or we haven't prioritized? It's going to allow it to like sink under the defense mechanism because a single mom might bite back if you are too challenging, too quick. Cool. Other than that, very, very good. Okay, cool. So is this making sense, guys? Sweet. Also, I paid Megan $10,000 to be here for the hour. She's a plant. Just kidding. All right, let's keep going. Sometimes I say funny shit and make myself laugh. We love you, Megan. But if you guys haven't seen what I posted about Megan in school, Megan's gone fucking through it to actually like get where she's at, making money. Like doesn't need to be a testimonial plug right now, but just shout out to you, Megan. You've gone through some shit to like actually learn the game. So kudos to you. Okay. So that's like for logistical. Now, this is a very similar method, but this is going to be sometimes for like the heavier stuff, like fear of judgment. Like in this example, guilt, right? Like the mom is feels guilty to take time away from her kids, right? If we don't talk about that and reframe that, she is not going to buy because not only does she feel guilt, then she has the weight, like guilt from time, that she's going to also feel guilt from investing money that can also support her family, right? That's a very good example to then like dive into. When we lead with curiosity, we ask for permission. Like, is it cool if I share a perspective? Is it this or is it this? What comes up for you? Oh, I feel guilty. This is where we can go into the past sometimes. Do you mind if I ask you like kind of like a heavy question? Like, has there been an experience that you've gone through where you've tried to do something to better your family's livelihood, but it didn't work out and you felt guilty for like spending time away from your family? Do you mind sharing what that looked like? Right. So there might be a past experience that's creating that belief, right? Because that belief doesn't always come from nothing, right? It can come from experiences we've had in the past. Okay. And then Megan did a really good job. Like if we like that way of thinking, what has it cost us? And then do you have permission to let go? Which I cut her off before she got there, but like, do you think at least for today, like, as a coach, can I challenge you to let go of that way of thinking so we can actually make the next 5 years look different than the last 5? Do you have permission to let go of the way of thinking that's cost you X, Y, Z? Okay. So this is another way to also, this is how you're going to have much deeper conversations on your sales call. So let's go into level 2. I'm a bit skeptical. You guys ever get that on sales calls? All right. Who wants to be my prospect?
Me.
Who said that? Jory?
Yeah.
All right, Jory. Let's run it. So again, let's say we're in our disco and like you're feeling a bit, yeah, like all this. I've been looking into a lot of this stuff, but some of it seems too good to be true. So I'm a little bit skeptical. Let's say like you just go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I see all these people who are doing like
Mhm.
high ticket on Instagram, and it just seems like too good to be true. How could you sit by a pool for 4 hours and make 10K? Like that just seems crazy.
Well, it's not always going to look like that. But when you say too good to be true, like what do you mean?
It just seems like I'm not, like it just doesn't seem like it's real reality.
Okay. And why do you feel like you believe that?
Um, I guess probably because I haven't done it before.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. Can I share a perspective with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Like usually when people come with skepticism, it's either because they haven't done it, so they don't know what it's like, or they've tried something in the past and it didn't work out, so they have a layer of defense built up. Like, do you mind if I ask, like, which one is it for you?
I think it's probably like a little bit of both.
Okay. Has something happened that's like, not right or wrong, but have you gone through something that's kind of made you more skeptical of these things?
Yeah, like I haven't done high ticket, but I've done like what is it called? Amazon FBA, drop
Mm,
shipping, faceless
uh,
YouTube, and it just like nothing is what it seems,
okay. So like you went through a program, they promised things and it didn't work out. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. And first of all, like I'm sorry to hear that. Like there is a lot of stuff out there like that that over glamorizes certain things. I guess for you though, like do you believe though, like with the right path and the right work ethic, like you can make more money than what you're making right now?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Like do you feel like you actually can?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like it's fair for you in the life that you want to build to keep holding on to a past experience that didn't work out?
No,
Why not?
because it's just going to dictate the ability to get results in the future.
So at least for today, like I can't really promise what's going to happen 10 years from now, but at least from today, like can I challenge you to like put that way of thinking aside that it's too good to be true, knowing that if you put in the work, it might happen, but at least put yourself in a position with better odds. Like, do you feel like I can challenge you to do that today?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. We can end there. End scene. So these are things like you guys want to be doing in your discovery. Because guess what? If someone's like, oh, that's skeptical. Oh, I'm just skeptical. It's okay though. Like influencer guarantees your outcome. They're not going to fucking buy. Or even if they do, they're going to refund. Right. That's why I don't sell with like guarantees because like you'll just have a higher refund rate. And a lot of offers will claw back your commissions. Okay. That makes sense. Was that one make I like by the way, like I laid out a framework, but you guys are noticing that I'm asking different questions, right? It's just like the framework is there for me to follow, but like I'm trusting my intuition. Like, what do I need to like expand on? So we're talking about the same things. Okay. Let's do one final one here, and then we'll go into how we apply this into objections. Okay. So final one is how many of you guys have heard this before? I'm looking for the right thing. I'm just looking for the right thing. Yeah, I'm just shopping around. No, Megan, you're not going again. Just kidding.
No, I need the talk track because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the right thing. Um, okay, let's who wants to be that? Pearl, you want to be the prospect? You came off mute. We can't hear you.
Oh, really?
You sound very I think it's because your mic is up here.
Is that better?
Oh wow, that's night and day. Boom. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have this up so you guys can see it. But yeah, it's okay. So it's like I'm looking for the right thing. Okay, so let's say we're in our
As a
discovery.
prospect?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna throw you in the deep end. So you're the prospect.
Okay.
You're like, yeah, Andres, like, I've been following influencer. I'm just like really looking for the right thing that's gonna help me. Boom. Go ahead and take it from there.
Yeah, I'm just really looking for the right thing. I just want to see if this is the kind of thing that's going to work out for me.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, I got you. I wouldn't want you, jumping into the wrong thing. Just so I understand, like, how do you define the right thing?
I don't know. It just has to feel right. I just want to see the information and see if,
Uh-huh.
everything kind of aligns with, where I'm at and what I'm looking for.
Sure. Okay. But outside of like make sure it feels good, like how do you define like if it's the right thing worth like investing time and money into?
Well, you know, it just has to be something that, that's not going to take up, a lot of my time. That
Mm,
is um that, there's evidence that it works. I think those are the
sure.
main things.
Okay. Well, in terms of like evidence that it's going to work, can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure you have all the information you need to make sure that this is like that you feel like when you do make a decision, that it's the right thing. However, we get a lot of prospects that come on here, like they want to make sure that this is giving them the highest likelihood of success, which is valid. And as a mentorship program, we can tell you everything you need to know, but ultimately, like who needs to be implementing it and implementing it quickly to see results, like you or me.
I suppose it's on me.
It's on you. And why do you say that?
I mean, if I, get into the program and I don't do anything, then of
Mhm.
course I'm not going to get any results at all.
Yeah. And obviously we haven't even talked about that yet. But like when you say like you're looking for the right thing, the thing with like the right results, how are you ever going to know if it's the right thing until you actually start doing it and seeing the results for yourself?
I suppose I wouldn't know, unless I do try it.
Mm-hmm. So I guess for you, like, has there been some like past experience, or has there been something that you've like gone through that's made you feel like, like a little bit more skeptical when it comes to like finding the right mentorship?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
I I joined this other program
Mm-hmm.
and there was supposed to be coaching and
Mm-hmm.
a program, like a very detailed program. Like they showed us everything,
Mm-hmm.
before we jumped on. And when we did jump on, the first week was amazing. And then after
Mm-hmm.
that, the support fell off and they started
Mm-hmm.
asking us for more money.
Oh, no
So
way.
yeah, I just don't want to experience that again.
Got it. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I'm sorry that you've gone through that. Um, can I share a perspective around that?
Yeah.
Some people call it the price of admission, but at the same time, like the things you've gone through dictate the way that you think about things and the decisions you make moving forward. If you keep holding on to that, right? And it's allowing, just creating the skepticism, like we're looking for the right thing, but we're actually not doing the thing. How much is that actually costing us in terms of progress towards your actual goals?
I mean, a lot because, I have been searching for a while,
Mhm.
and I've just been, like, trying to make sure that I'm not going to get scammed instead
Yeah.
of, starting.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want you to get scammed either. At least for today. And when we get there, we'll get there. You can hit me with any questions, but at least for today, are you open to like putting behind you that past experience so it doesn't burn you twice by costing you missing out on something that could potentially change your situation? Is that fair to ask?
Yeah, I'm open to hearing you out.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Pearl. So you guys see that in action? Sweet. Obviously, this is a role play, guys. Like role plays are going to be easy mode compared to a live prospect that might give you more pushback, that might not answer your questions. That's why it's important to know what we're looking for and re-ask questions if we need to. I'm going to pause for a second before we get into the objections. How are we doing on time, Linz? I think we're good, right? Okay. Let's take a couple shares. Pop off mute. Take 2 shares. What are you learning? What can you apply to your own offer? And then for everyone else, drop a little nugget in the chat. I know you guys are paying attention.
I think for me, a
Oh,
big,
hi, Miriam.
oh, hi. Um, Something that's sticking out to me every time I get on your calls, Andres, I like learn something freaking, it's like, it's all, you hear it all the time. And then sometimes like one thing just clicks. And what's clicking for me right now is I'm not asking people to just freaking define what they mean. It's,
Mm.
I'm an expert assumptioner.
Ooh.
I feel like I can read people well enough to know what they mean, and that is my kryptonite, and I know that. And so it may be true sometimes, but I never, because of that, I never give the other person on the other side of the phone with me the opportunity to prove me wrong or to tell me something different or to confirm my bias. And so that is something, a small thing. I actually follow the framework in general, but I
Yeah.
skip that a lot.
Good. Yeah, sometimes we need to be reminded like the basics. But it's cool, like with this stuff, like sales, I always say is a personal development journey, right? Because like the more you practice it, the more in your like personal life, you'll start defining things and like your relationship become a lot stronger too.
Mhm.
Thank you for your share. Let's take one more.
I would say my like, can I say something?
What's up, Kai? Yeah, floor is yours, girl.
So like I think when it comes to like the limiting belief of broken mindset, I used to just share the analogy without like identifying or
Hmm. I think your mic cut out.
like asking a permission.
Oh, there we go.
So
It was just
what they feel like when wait when it where did I stop?
it just start from the beginning because you cut out.
Okay. So what I said was like whenever I saw like the broken mindset, I used to just share the like analogy without identifying and asking a permission. So
Mhm.
it felt more like I'm like persuading them instead of realize making them realize, identify it, and kind of like
Yeah,
reprogram. So that's something I learned a lot.
very good. Good, good, good. Thank you for your share. Let's see what you guys are learning in the chat. Lindsay, never assume. Yeah, never fucking assume. Paid $6,000 to a coach, and that's the biggest takeaway was never assume. Thank you, KD. Yeah, by the way, on setting calls, I want to be crystal clear with this. Don't start mindset objection handling your prospects on setting calls because they will no show your closing calls. Okay. So don't start doing that. Like this is for closing. There are ways to find problems on a setting call, but we don't need to go into, objection handling mode because your show rate for your closers or for yourself will drop. Yeah, Kirsty,
Hello,
how we doing?
doing good. How are you?
Good to see you.
So, I'm curious if you're going through reframing beliefs like this and you're challenging them, what happens if they're really stubborn and you're looping and you're running out of time and you don't feel confident that they're ready for the pitch?
It's a good question. Um, well, then you can do like some takeaways. Takeaway closing is one of my favorites. And you can do something like, hey man, like I don't want this to be a battle, but I've just seen the people that come into this program and crush it and the ones that don't. And I don't even know if I want to let you in right now unless we actually talk about shifting this perspective. Because otherwise, you're going to pay all this money. You're going to come into this program. You're going to get smoked, dude. Straight up.
Right.
So I would do stuff like that, and that would get people's guards down because all of a sudden, like they're like, "Oh, this person's completely detached. He actually doesn't give a shit if I buy or not."
Right. So they
So
might be more likely to open up then.
yeah, you can do stuff like that.
Cool.
Also, like some of your calls, especially in the beginning, are going to go longer than an hour. It's just what it is. Like in the beginning, my calls were an hour and a half. And after training and developing, I got them down to about 40 minutes. But in the beginning, sometimes if you have a good prospect, just focus on them, push your next call back if you need to. Because then getting them back on and then into an emotional state is just too many chances of drop off.
Right. Cool.
Cool. Good question. Okay, let's cover how we apply this in objections. It's quite similar, and then we'll go into our Q&A. Sweet. Okay, so reframing and objections. Now, I do want to be clear, like, this is what I meant before. Like, when you're in your discovery, right, and you hear the broken language, the try, the maybe, the hopefully, like shit like that, take your shots. When you're in, up until you start pitching, guys, you're in conversational mode, which means like you'll be able to get away with more direct questions and get a more meaningful response. But as soon as you pitch and as soon as you price drop, no matter how much rapport you have, like there is going to be some bias and some resistance. Okay. Even if it's not obvious. So this is why we want to do as much as we can early on in the call. Even if you can't pre-handle or pre-frame or completely reframe a belief, then at least you'll know what to expect, right? And then you're not going to be like caught off guard, right? At minute 50, like, oh, where did that come from, right? Like, okay, I expected this guy to say I didn't have time because I didn't do my job early on. Like, come on, let's dance, right? So when we're in objections, very similar, but we want to validate that the offer is what they look for, right? Some people call it the tie down, some people call it the confirmation, the validation, whatever. It's all the same shit. Cool. Like, so whatever objection they give you, all good, no stress. Cool. That sounds, yeah, easy stuff, or whatever it is, right? Do you feel like what I laid out for you can work for you? Do you feel like this is the answer? Do you feel like have they been listening, or like did they like actually understand what you pitched them? Okay. If at any point you get some uncertain response, then sit with that. Don't move on. Go negative if you need to. What do you feel like it wouldn't work, or like why do you feel like uncertain? Help me understand. Maybe you botched something in your pitch. Like maybe you just pitched for too long. You don't know. So double validate, clarify what they mean. Right. Same thing we said earlier, or what Miriam said. Like we never want to assume. Clarifying what they're like. What do you actually mean by X, Y, Z? Get permission, and then permission to challenge or share an analogy. Analogies work really, really well, especially in objections, because the reason analogies work is because we're taking their limiting belief and we're making it a third party through third party storytelling. So the prospect doesn't feel as lit up and on the spotlight. Okay. If you guys are not using ChatGPT to find analogies that work for your offer, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. I was actually thinking about coming to this with like a whole bank of analogies, but I feel like that'd be just spoon feeding you guys when you have chat that can do it for you in 30 seconds when you give it the right prompts. So here are a couple objections that we can have fun with. I just want to make a few more sales and then I'll jump into your program. I just want to save up for it. Which, by the way, that was an objection I fucking gave to my friend that slapped the shit out of me. He's like, no, dude, that's stupid. How are you going to save up for it if you're broke? You're making no money. You're not going to say that to a prospect. He had a lot of rapport with me, so he got away with that. Or the last one, right? Like, I want to do some more homework first, and I'll get back to you, right? I want to see more testimonials, or I want to do more research, and I'll get back to you. Let's do one of these. Which one? 1, 2, or 3? Put it in the chat. 3, 1, 2. Oh man. Okay. This is all over the place. I think we have more 3s. All right.
I'm in 3.
All right, we'll do 3. All right, cool. All right, cool. Let me who wants to be my prospect? Don't be scared. You'll be the prospect. Who said that?
Me.
All right, Kirsty. Cool. And I'm gonna, like I did last time, I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can like follow along. Sweet. So let's just say, yeah, I mean, this all sounds great. I just want to do a little bit more research.
And Andrés, it was amazing, but I really need to do a little homework, just check into some other stuff and just make sure that I'm 100% on this.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. At least with like what I presented here, do you feel like with the strategy and the coaching and the XYZ that this can help you accomplish what you're looking for?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And why do you say that?
Well, I mean, the strategy's laid out, the coaching, I really need that. The accountability sounds perfect. I just want to make sure there's a couple other people that I was looking at, and I have been doing a fair amount on my own this far, so I just kind of want to weigh out whether I should keep going on my own or, pick you or someone else.
Yeah, well, you could keep going on your own. I'm a firm believer that everyone with enough time can find the answers to everything, especially with AI. I guess like what's the rationale of even like considering to work with a mentor versus just doing it on your own?
I guess to get it done quicker, save some time.
How many more sales calls with other, mentors do you have lined up?
I've already had 2, and I was looking at a couple other people. I haven't booked any calls yet. I was thinking you're going to be the last one, but I still want to keep my options open.
Something there. Okay, but we've put 3 hours into like some research already.
What was that?
We've already put 3 hours into research by having 3 hours worth of sales calls so far.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I'm the type of person that really is needing more and just to make the right decision, and also want to make sure it's just the right fit intuitively.
Okay. Well, intuitively, do you feel like if you jumped in right now, this would be the worst idea?
Oh no, I don't think it'd be the worst idea.
Well, I want to make sure it's the best thing for you. Can I share a perspective with you?
Sure.
When people say because I've done these calls a lot, they want to make sure it's the right thing. They're looking for more research. Like they're looking to make sure that this gives them the highest likelihood of success. Is that like fair to say?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Have you ever heard the saying, whatever you look for, you will find?
Yeah,
Do you know what
yeah,
that means?
kinda. Yeah, I mean,
So the reason I'm sharing this with you, right, is like you could, if you leave this call looking for the reasons why it won't work, you will go down every Reddit rabbit hole and find that one review that says that this is the worst thing ever. And you will validate the skepticism that you have. On the other
wow.
side, if you have the belief that this will work, you will do everything required to make it work for you, right?
Mm.
I guess for you, like which belief do you feel like you actually need to make sure that whatever program you jump into, you're going to get the results that you want?
Well, I definitely feel like you're calling me out because I am the person that goes down the Reddit rabbit holes and checks reviews. So, um, yeah, I guess you're right on that. Maybe I've been
Well,
going too far into the rabbit holes and not actually taking action.
yeah, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to help you like not spend time like trying to find the perfect thing when there is no perfect thing, right? It's just you doing what you need to do to get the outcomes that you want.
Mm.
And do you feel like having this level of accountability is going to help you actually show up to the standard required to actually get the outcomes that you want?
I think so if I can get out of my own perfectionism and wanting something to be perfect.
You think so?
Yeah,
You think so, or you know so?
I know so.
Okay. So, in the sake of keeping you accountable to what you want, can I help you jump in now so you don't spend another 3 calls with other people and come to the same conclusion?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't want to waste any more time. And I really like that you called me out on that.
There you go. Thank you, Kirsty.
Thanks.
Okay. You guys learned something today? What'd you guys learn? Drop in the chat. We're going to go into Q&A in a second. Drop in the chat what you've learned. It's an example of a reframe. And like those analogies, guys, like I'm not an analogy king by any means. Actually, Adele, who's a student of mine and also coaches in the program, that you guys might know, dude, that woman speaks in analogies. She's really fucking good, but she does it in her personal life. So like she's able to do it really well in sales calls. I had to make up for it. So I would just Google analogies before chat was a thing and figure out like this is like the analogy, like the meaning or the reframe I want to communicate. What's an analogy that supports that? So if you're not using chat, guys, you guys are just like shooting yourselves in the foot. Okay, awesome, sweet. We're gonna go into Q&A. Before we do, quick share for all of you guys. If this is the type of support that you're looking for, we do have a paid community. I'm not going to pitch you guys right now. And I'm not going to pitch you sales calls because everyone gets scared getting on the phone with me. So if you guys are looking to get some more hands-on support, you can just DM me on Instagram or in the school community training. We'll send you all the information that you need. Or if you want to actually talk to Lindsay, who's been in the industry for a year, she is a past student. She's on my team, obviously, but she started about a year ago in one of those, like, we guarantee you a job offers. And so she's, Lindsay can tell you if you do connect with her. She's gone through it. She's had to like develop her skill set. It's taken her a bit, but she's definitely a rock star closer. She's on her last offer was closing 3 to 25K packages, I believe. So if you want to chat with her, you can also do that. So just DM me training on Instagram or on school. We'll let you know the info. We did open up, I think it was 6 spots this month. I think 3 have been taken so far. We keep our enrollment at like a reasonable level because we want to make sure all our students get all the support that they need. So just DM me that. And Liz, if you want to just drop your calendar in the chat, just anyone wants to chat with you first so they can see you in action, so you handle some objections. Y'all can have fun with that. All right, sweet. Let's move on here. Let me close this out. All right. I got like 30 minutes to jam on Q&A. So raise your little virtual hands and let's dive in. God, it's all the tough names today. God damn it. Go for it, Nika.
You got it. You can call me Nikki.
Nikki, what's up?
We've been chatting in the DMs actually.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get on offers and then I got ghosted and then et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, I remember
But
that.
I'm currently about to start a B2B and a B2C offer.
Okay.
So I was curious, like, how would you manage your approaches to both if you had like both calls on the same day? Also, yeah.
Ooh, okay. So how would you approach your sales flow on each call or time management for two offers?
Yeah, I mean sales flow. I mean
Sales flow.
approach because you mentioned like, if you're talking to like business owners and entrepreneurs, the B2B is like a capital raising firm. So I'm gonna be talking to startups who want like
Cool.
2 million versus like a B2C offer where I'm gonna be asking people to do like one-on-one mentorships for
Okay.
AI, SaaS stuff.
Gotcha. I guess like for your B2C, you can follow kind of what way we've covered here today and what we've covered on different
Mhm.
trainings. For B2B or really selling to any form of more established buyer, I always like to start with data because like you can't hide behind data and like people that know their shit want to talk data anyway. Right. So depending on what you help achieve, like I don't really know your offer, right? But what you could be doing is like, okay, help me understand like how much capital you guys are looking to raise. Why is it that you're looking for that amount? What would that allow you to do in terms of investments in the business? How much quicker would you actually grow and how much bigger of an impact would you make? How much capital have you been able to raise? Why do you feel like you haven't been able to raise more already? What has you looking to get some help with this versus just tapping into your existing network or DIY potential. So that's how I would do more of a B2B is data, problem or challenge question.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah. Sounds good.
You sure?
Yeah. Because I guess a big issue in that industry is I guess looking for investments short amount of time. And if we're there to solve that issue for them, then it's a little bit of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you want to find out how much they need, why they need it, what it would do for the business,
Yeah.
right? That you understand like the bigger picture, but you want to get there through data. You don't want to be asking like, oh, if you raise $1 million, what would that do for you? No, it's like, okay, raising $1 million in seed capital, like what are some strategic investments you'd be able to make that you're not able to make now? Same
Yeah.
type of question, just worded differently.
hmm
And then, yeah, I mean, if you're essentially selling money, if you land your questions right, like you should, sounds like a pretty good offer if you're selling money.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. Good question.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Jory.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so yesterday I had a call with a kid who I did the reframing. Like I did like, can we go through the rest of the call and not let that impact your ability to get results, blah, 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 did that whole thing. But then when we get to the end of the call, this kid had like a visceral panic attack and then just could not like move forward. And I guess I'm just curious, like when they're having like a visceral reaction, I don't do good with that. I'm like, fucking get over it. But what do I do with that? Because it's happened to me twice. This kid didn't cry, but the last kid cried.
I love it when you guys ask me like the most like outlier example. Like this guy literally had a panic attack. What do I do about it? I got you. I got you. Yes, Jory. Actually, yeah, one sales call I was on was like this super spiritual lady. She literally like backed up and then she started doing like some hippie dance and like took these playing cards out and like lit them on fire. I was like, yo, what is going on? And then she came back. She's like, okay, the spirits told me I'm in, but I need a payment plan. I was like, what the fuck did I just see? Anyway, when I reviewed that one with my coach, he was like, don't ever show me a call like that again, please. I think the biggest thing, Jory, is like they're an extreme fight or flight, right? And when someone's an extreme fight or flight, and it's like the same thing that like with Yanni, that Yanni and I are going to start working on, is like how do you diffuse and like create like hold space for someone, right? And if someone's having like a like holy shit, dude, I don't know, like we just have to diffuse it before we attempt any form of word track, right? It's like, hey man, relax. Like, by the way, don't say relax to a female ever. Ever. Don't do that. But like let's say you're talking to a man, like, hey man, like take a breath. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. This is here to help you out. But if like there's no way this would ever work. You can like, man, no stress. Take a breath. What are you genuinely feeling right now? If you can slow down like that when someone is in extreme fear and extreme price shock, like at least you'll be able to have a conversation. But until you do that, like it's just wasted energy because they're not hearing anything you're saying.
Okay. Cool. I need to do that.
Yeah, because you just don't give a shit because you're like, dude, you don't empathize because you've gone through your own set of experiences, and it's not right or wrong, but it's why people don't feel more safe to open up.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah, cool. I know you. Good question. All right, Lena.
So I was talking to Lindsay and Megan about this the other day, but I'd love to get your take. So one of the things with when I'm objection handling is I feel like sometimes I buy into their frame because it is convincing, and maybe it's because to me that's an objection I still buy into. So what's your best advice for, because to me, if I'm gonna handle an objection from someone else, I need to have bought into my frame. So, and there's so many objections. So, do you just go through an exercise of like go through like all the possible objections and just sell yourself on it first? Or like what's your best advice around that?
Well, actually, that sounds like a great exercise to do.
Anyone want to do a group workshop?
Yeah, that sounds great. Do it. Definitely do that. And like what's true for you doesn't necessarily need to be true for someone else. Like if it like I want to let you sit with that. What's true for you doesn't need to be true for someone else.
Okay, got it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. Shy.
Yep, thank you. I wanted to ask, so I'm on an offer where a coach helps men save marriages. It's a very
Cool.
cool offer, but
Which
like
which one?
The Wanted Man, it's a startup. We are just taking off, so I don't know if you know
Nice.
about
I've
that.
sold a lot of men's work, so I know a lot of the influencers. That's dope. Good stuff.
He doesn't do any kind of social media, so all the leads are coming from ads. So
Cool.
leads are kind of cold. But no, my question was about reframing. Most of them are going through divorce, right?
Yeah.
So they have legal fees, they are losing money, or like they are in kind of financial struggle because of divorce that they're going through. So every time I get the same kind of objection on like, hey, the money is so tight right now because of what I'm going through. Like, I'm not sure if I can really invest into this. So how
Yeah.
can I reframe that when it's like valid?
Well, we don't know it's valid until it's valid. What is the outcome? Is it to like save the marriage or the life after divorce?
Save the marriage.
Save the marriage. Well, there you go, right? I mean, if you're able to save your, like, can I share a perspective, man? If you're able to actually save your marriage, like, do you think you'd still be paying all these legal fees? You think you'd be
Yeah.
looking at like shit, splitting the house?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I already paid like 20K to the lawyer, so all the savings are out of window. So I don't know. I'm
So
like,
all the, I mean, all that's already paid then.
I'm sorry.
So all that's already paid. It's all like done and dusted.
Yeah, we are in the middle, so it's, like
Yeah.
we keep paying every hour.
Well, I mean, look, man, like we're not gonna twist your arm. Ultimately, like you need to decide if like you want this type of support so you can like fix your relationship. Like genuinely, like even if we were to break it down, like you tell me, man, like if you wanted to, could you figure it out?
If I wanted to, yeah, I would.
Yeah, but like if you genuinely wanted to, do you feel like you could swing it? Like you know your situation better than we do.
I mean, yeah, like maybe next week after I get paid, I could do something.
Okay, but you could if you wanted to. Like you feel like this is what you need, and if you really wanted to, you could figure it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to put our heads together so we can solve this for you? This isn't really so much a reframe. This is just like getting into like logistical and then like open wallet.
Okay.
Yeah, is what I because you could reframe. It's like, you know, I've just sold a lot of men's work, so these guys are in deep pain. So I think like going the like if you genuinely wanted to, and the reason that works is because it like when you deal with men, it's like subtly poking at their ego, right? They're gonna be, well, of course, if I wanted to, I could. Okay, then so logistical. That's why it works with men on these types of offers. And then I guess after that, you could then reframe like somebody can share a perspective. Like we can look at all the reasons why you can't. Or if like you drop the ego for a second, the reason you're in the situation is because you actually haven't invested this type of like money into your relationship, and you're dealing with like the ashes of it.
Oh
So
yeah,
like, can like I challenge you to put your big boy pants on and do what you need to do what you need to do for your family.
okay.
Like you get real sloppy with those offers. That
You
was
know,
one of my favorite, by the way. They put your big boy pants on.
it's really cool one. Do I have one more question?
Yeah,
Like,
go for it.
uh, I see that the guys are super sold, like, right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, I want the program, and I'm like, are you sure? Do you want me to do we start onboarding? And like, yeah, yeah. So I double check, right, when they say yes. But after I send the link and I'm like, okay, what's your email? What's your phone number? They're like, hey, you know what? I have to hop on a call. You know what? Like my Klarna is not working. I lost the password. Like I don't have access to my email. Like I lose a lot of them right at the end.
Okay. There's a couple things you can do. One, take the gloves off. And like, oh man, you can have so much fun with these topics. It's like, hey man, like you don't have to do this, but like I'm also not going to buy excuses because you're jumping into a coaching program to be held accountable. You can tell me like face to face that you don't want to do it or you can't do it, but like please don't give me these like weird ass excuses. Right? Like you gotta take the gloves off there. Or what you could do is before you go for the commitment, it's like, cool. So I mean, it's really the part that we separate the people that want it and the people that are about it. Okay, because next steps from here are actually getting you onboarded. You ready to actually start making some changes? You sure? Okay, cool. But the subtle thing of like this is what separates the blank from the blank can also work in those types of offers. So a
Okay.
couple things you can do. But don't buy into their excuses at the end. Just cut right through it. Cool.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. What's up, Marissa? How you doing?
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, good. How can I help?
Okay, so I had a question, and I'm pretty sure you already understood, or like everybody understood it except me. But it's about like the permission to let go. So I'm good with like the permission for like challenging an idea, but like what is up with like the letting go part?
Yeah, it's like what we're trying to do here is like remove an objection before it bites us in the ass later. Because humans don't like to be incongruent with their words, right? It creates cognitive dissonance. So a way that we do that is like, so that skepticism or that mindset that's kept you skeptical for today, is it okay if like we put that aside or put that behind us so we can find a solution to your problem? If they buy into that, it's going to be a lot harder for them at the end of the call to come back to that as an objection because they verbalize that they're okay letting it go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. What's up, Fovi? I got all the cool names.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good, good. So here's my question. Actually I am on an offer where we're selling marketing to med spas or we're launching med spas from the ground up. So it's a B2B offer.
Right.
And I've been setting for the last 5 months, and I'm kind of transitioning to closing on the marketing side of things.
Cool.
I had my first call this week, and the guy really liked me, but he is a med spa owner and has a couple more meetings with more people this week, and he wants to give them a fair chance. But he said that he's partial, and I'll most likely be hearing back from him. So to avoid that need for a follow-up, what could I have done in that situation? Because I was just like, oh yeah, for sure. Well, let me know. And I was really cool about it, but
you let his compliment get to your head. Yeah.
well, naturally.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what would I do otherwise? Because it was also my first call.
Yeah,
my
it's your
first one.
first call. Like, don't get too hung up on it. Like, get some volume. But for your next one, like, clarify what he's looking for, and you can also instill some doubt questions, right? So if they're looking for marketing, hey man, if you have 4 other calls, no stress. Do you know what you're looking for specifically? Like, what would give you like the 2 thumbs up to feel like who you're talking to is giving you exactly what you need, right?
Nice.
Or like what like with B2B, you can use that decision criteria. Like in terms of your decision criteria, man, like what do you feel like needs to be checked in terms of all the boxes for you to actually move forward on something?
Okay.
Do you feel like what we provided here checks all the boxes for you? So one
Well-
business owner to another, like if you, I mean, you can go have another 4 interviews if you want, but like what are we looking for features? Or are we shopping on price at this point? So you
Okay.
can just like essentially you're just clarifying to find out what is missing from you for him to make a decision. Because the reality is the business owner doesn't need to be on 5 sales calls. Like they're not going to want to be unless they're not making any money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good stuff. One of my clients owns Lindsay, what's Kevin's name? Our business name? Med Spa is something? Dude, I don't know. You don't know either. Yeah, one of our clients, he's a founder for they do marketing for med spas. He's become a dog on the sales calls, but you really want to lean into data in the beginning.
Med Masters.
Med Masters is his own. That's right. Cool. All right,
Nice.
Celia.
Hi there. Thanks for this training. My question is around, so my offer is essentially a lead gen offer, right? So it's a 5K offer. They get a bunch of like functional testing, they get some coaching, they get an appointment with the doctor, and it leads into like a 30K offer, which I don't sell. Okay. But that's kind of what it is. And so people come in, and the people that are quote unquote like getting cured and like having full reversal of their conditions are the ones that are going through like the higher, like the 30K offer, because they get stem cells. It's a whole thing, right? And so there's a number of people that they just come in and they're like, cool, like we do the testing, and they're, 5K is not, that's not a big deal for them. I call it healthcare for the for the affluent, and they're not concerned about insurance and all that. They just want to get answers. But then you have more of like the price skeptical people who are a little more sensitive, or price sensitive people, I should say. And then they'll be a little bit more skeptical, and then I don't talk about the back end offer. I don't talk about the next step, because I don't want people freaking out like this is going to be 30,000, like we're just talking about a 5K offer.
Okay.
But I don't know if I should be kind of saying like, because my sales manager's always like, we're not curing them with this. And if I came on and told every patient like, we're not here to cure you, and I think it might turn people away, because in our testing, we're really positioning like, oh, we're going to find answers, and oh, like we can find this, and spot these patterns, and give you a treatment plan. And people love that. So I know I'm kind of rambling, but I think the point is like, do I bring that in for the skeptical people? Like, actually, we're not going to cure you with this. It's just labs and testing. Because that's kind of what I'm being coached to do. But I
I
really
think
try not to talk about that back end offer.
you got to do what you find ethical for you, and what's
Okay.
ethical for you is going to be different for any other rep. Um, like I'm a firm believer of like underselling and under promising, and what is it? I'm blanking right now.
Yeah, under promise, over deliver.
Under promise, over deliver. Yeah, thank you. Because then there is a chance to actually upsell people later. Like if they're not going to have like, instead of like, hey, this is going to solve everything, it's like, hey, this is like a first but a major step for you to figure out exactly what you need and what changes are going to happen so you can feel better, right? So the investment's 5,000. This is going to solve these things. Now, this isn't going to solve everything, right? But it is going to be like a major step in XYZ. so you can start doing blank, 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 right? If
Mhm.
skepticism is there, like it's probably more of like a money fear,
Mhm.
right? Because it might be a lot of money to them and like they're really holding on to it because like they need it to work. But so then you can like I uncover that and say, do you feel like this could work for you? And they're like, oh, I don't know, it's just like a lot of money. Sure. Like where's like the hesitation coming from? Is it like just not having the money or not feeling like this is going to give you the results that you want? And you can separate the objection that you actually know what you're talking about. Because sometimes it could just be solved by like a payment plan if like they feel like it's going to work. They just don't want to admit it sometimes.
Yeah, and I get that a lot. I find that it's like they need to pay the 5,000, and by paying 5,000, like that has to be it and like cure them, right? And that's not what's going to happen. And so it's like that all this stuff gets projected onto that, and I can't, and I'm never promising them it's like answers, but I'm good at positioning things. So like I can make a lab test sound really freaking good.
Yeah.
Um, but okay. So I get it about that, just my ethics and all of that.
Yeah, hard
But
to say because like for a business too, like obviously you want to produce and you make your commission, but if people are coming in with the wrong expectations, like that's just, gonna bite a business in the ass later.
of course,
Yeah.
of course. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. What's up, Julie?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How can I help?
Thank you for this training. It's been great.
You're welcome.
So, my question is, how do you actually learn this, like without reading a script on your sales call?
You buy my program.
Of course, do you have like a tip, like one tip or something?
I'm joking. You can tell I have a lot of fun here. Um, I'm just a dad laughing at my own jokes. God damn it. Okay, so how do you learn what exactly?
How do you learn to read like everything, like all the things that we went through? So, obviously, I can write down and create my own script. But when I'm like, I'm brand new, so there's a lot of things to learn. But when I'm on the call, well, how do I learn to reframe people in this way without looking at a script at the same time? Because I don't want to do that when I'm on a call. I want to be present.
Okay, but you're new.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there's a lot of noise with sales training about like scriptless, not scriptless. Like if you're brand new, like there's no shame in learning and memorizing a script. Okay. Like if I'm going to train a brand new rep, like some of my one-on-one students, will write out a script for them. Doesn't need to be fancy, and they just memorize it. Start with that before you start adding too much advanced things, because if you don't and you try and start reframing things, like you might miss very basic things that are going to make sales happen anyway. Okay. So for what I would say for you, if you're new, if you have a script, really memorize it. And what you're going to realize when you're practicing is certain questions will typically get certain responses that might have limiting beliefs in them. And then when you are expecting that question, then you can work on that, how to reframe the most common belief for the offer that you're on. Okay, it's not like the most sexy response, right? But like memorize your script so you understand the framework and like what questions build on each one. Because a good script, each question builds on the previous one. Okay.
Makes
Memorize
sense.
that and then get more advanced with it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Pearl, were you next? I think you were.
Yes, thank you. So my question is about there's like a certain type of prospect that I struggle with particularly. I think in my YouTube automation offer, it's like men. So sometimes they do come in and they wouldn't be wanting to answer like some questions, especially if the questions are difficult during discovery. And like they have tried to like throw off some things to get me off track of the questions that they were asking, like maybe a compliment or something like that, and I'm just like, oh, okay, and I just like move on to like the next thing. What kind of suggestions or tips would you have about dealing with that sort of thing?
Yeah, I got you. And like kudos to all you ladies that sell to men because like Men will like do dumbass shit, start hitting on you and stuff, and like you have to deal with that. So two things. One, if you're having someone that's trying to like, that's what they're doing is they don't want to get uncomfortable, so they're taking the frame. The quicker you can address it, the more you're going to condition them to like comply for the rest of the call. So don't gloss over it. Address it. Hey man, like this call is for you. So thanks for the compliment, but there's really no like that's not what we're going to talk about. Help me understand blank. So you just, it's like when a guy is trying to hit at you at the bar, right? And like he's coming up for the second time, you're like, dude, go fucking kick rocks. Right? Sometimes men need it a couple times before we get the message. Okay. So that's the first. The second, and this is important for all of you ladies here that sell to men, if a man gives you a vulnerable response, you need to give them almost like kudos for it. Reward it. Thank you, Linz. If you're on an emotional offer, or really any offer, and a man gives you an emotional response, reward them for it. Because men are just not used to opening up. And if you take it and move on, they will not open up for the rest of the call. So slow down if someone's something like vulnerable. Hey, there's a guy here. Hey Frank, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. Like I know that's not the easiest thing to talk about. So I appreciate you really being open, and that's how really going to make this call valuable for you. Next question. Really important when you're talking to them. Cool? When you get an emotional response, don't do that for like every question because then like you lose frame. But when you get an emotional or a charged response, does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What's up, Kai?
Hi, so like when you hop on an offer, there's like, they have the script and which is like completely different from like what I've been trained and also what you teach.
Yeah.
And like I feel like it's easy to incorporate what we've learned in like objections, for example, per handle.
Yeah.
But throughout the discovery, like it's like builds up, right, from the beginning. So how and like when do you kind of incorporate the new, like what I learned from here to like
Yep.
the new scripts?
Yeah, so like since you're new, right? Like we don't want to come onto an offer and be like, "Hey, I paid, XYZ for my coaching program, so I know what's best." Right? Which is actually like even when you're new, like, there's closers that had 120K a month and they think their way is the best, and it creates unnecessary tension with like your management. So what I would suggest for you since you're new, low-hanging fruit is just objection handling, right? Follow their script, right? Like even if it's not the best script, just follow it and focus on objection handling right now because you will get objections. That's going to be low-hanging fruit. Okay, you can use the objection map that you have access to in the program. You literally read it verbatim. Okay. The second thing is solution-based questions. You can sneak those into your discovery. Those will pre-handle the boo-boo objections, do-it-myself, competitor, that kind of thing. Rationale questions. There's always a spot for that in your discovery, and your management shouldn't give you a problem for asking those types of questions. Those are your low-hanging fruit. Then what you're going to look for, following the script, maybe there's not questions that I teach you, but you're going to see where you can take the shots. Like I said earlier, right? If you're digging and someone's like, I want financial freedom, before you move on, define and clarify and see where a reframe can happen. But that way you're following the structure of the script that they gave you, but you're taking your shots on where it makes sense. That way your manager isn't going to be like, oh, you're doing something different, because a manager does want consistency amongst the team sometimes. That way, like you comply with like the standards of the team, but you're also going to make your sales calls more effective. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, 100%. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, unless y'all have any more questions, that's all I got for you. Y'all learned something today? Yeah?
Yeah. Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Mara, you got to turn your camera on though.
No, I can't.
Oh.
I look bad today. Because I don't have to well, anyways, can I just ask a question? Do I really have to turn my camera on?
Yeah, you'll get a pass. You're the boss today.
Okay, cool. So doing the chiropractic wellness company, me starting, because I'm currently at work right now and I'm talking to people, the reoccurring question that I keep getting is, of course, they give me like, something to go off of, a script, but people always want to know, okay, well, does my insurance pay for it? And I mean, they kind of give me a script for people if they jump off the bandwagon, they're like, yeah, I don't care. I just want to know if my insurance is going to cover it. How do I get it back on track? Because what they're wanting me to say is okay, but I feel like it could be better.
What do they want you to say?
Let me find it. Hold on. So I'm just going to read you the whole paragraph. It's so if they don't say anything and they're like, and they let me go through the whole thing, it starts with, also, I want to answer a few common questions up front so you don't have to worry. The only cost for the consultation itself under our new patient special is $47. Dr. Fritz must first evaluate your condition to determine a diagnosis. Once that is done, he will explain whether or not he feels like he can help, what treatment options make sense for your specific case, and what your insurance may or may not cover. If there is anything that would end up involving an out-of-pocket cost, that will be explained clearly before anything is done. The most important thing right now is getting you answers, which I mean, it's not bad.
Not bad.
But I feel like, because that sometimes they're like, yeah, that's not answering anything I just said.
Yeah, so with I do want to be careful with like medical offers because there is like regulation, right? But what I would say is like if they're like, dude, I just need to know, does insurance cover this? You can say, look, it really depends. Like some insurance doesn't. Like that's the whole point of the next call. Let me ask you this, like, if worst case insurance didn't cover this for you, is this like that a complete deal breaker, or are you more like, are you more motivated by actually solving this?
Okay, I like that.
You can try that.
Yeah.
But the whole point of like, you can even just make it more like direct. It's like, look, like the consult's only $47. That's going to tell you everything you need to know. And depending on the treatments you need, what is or isn't covered. Now, if things aren't covered but you need it, is that a deal breaker? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I guess it will depend on what it would cost, of course. And like once we find exactly that, we're not going to hide anything. You'll know exactly what it would look like. But that's again the whole point. Like I couldn't tell you that because that really depends on the doctor. Now, worst case, if they don't want to move forward without having a range, you can give them a range. Like what we've seen, like, depending for some things, like it's like, completely out of pocket. Like, I don't know, it can be anywhere from, $1,000. We've had some patients that have had major XYZ and it's been, 15K plus. I don't think it does you a service just going off of the range because we have no idea what you're dealing with. Like,
yeah, they don't give me prices. That's the thing. The only thing I know is like the $47 special, and then that's what they tell me to say. So they don't
even do the range then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, I like what you said. I was just having a guy today like yell at me and he was like, does United Healthcare get covered? That's all I want to know. United Healthcare. And I was like, I don't know specifically if it does get covered.
I don't know, man. It depends on what you need. Like, is $47 like breaking the bank? Because if that's the case, then it probably isn't for you.
Yeah.
Then push them away because at the same time, too, you probably don't want to fill your doctor's calendar with a bunch of people that like aren't going to be able to pay for it anyway.
Well, that's what they said. They were like, if they can't afford $47, like don't even bother, don't even worry about it. And I mean, I'm doing that, but just I want to know because some people are just they might have the money, but they want to try to save whatever they can.
Exactly. So that's why you can clarify. I mean, insurance doesn't cover it. I mean, like, is this completely like off limits to you, or like, do you have a way to actually fund it if it's what you need? I mean, I don't even know.
Okay.
So, yeah. Good stuff. Good question. Keeping me on my toes when you ask me things outside of the typical info product. All right. Any last questions from Akila, Victoria? Victoria, are you in like a cabin or something?
Everyone always asks me that. Look, it's a little. Can you hear me? I'm like frozen on my own screen.
Are you in a tiny house? Please say you're in a tiny house.
Yeah, this is my mini house. I have my bed and my kitchen.
No shit, actually.
No, I'm joking. Yeah. It's an office. Like my house is like back there, so it's like a log cabin office. I have like the whole like setup.
Oh, it's badass.
Yeah.
That's badass. Cool. All right, sweet. Any questions from you or from what's up, Frankie? Frank, Jasmine, Aquila?
Yeah, you said it correctly. Thank you so much for this. I learned a lot. Hopefully, this won't be the last time. I just got started on a new offer and I'm just excited to have a little bit more ammo now.
Welcome to the game. What offer did you get started on?
Well, I actually have two.
Nice.
One is very small, very niche with a small team of 7, and the other one is a lot bigger, more structure, a team of 200.
Nice.
The first one is human design astrology.
Ooh, we like that.
And the second one is media and television.
Cool. Nice. Well, I'll keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
Congrats. Welcome to the jungle, as I call
Thank
it.
you so much.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up. Last thing I'll say, if you do want to jam about ongoing training, just DM me training or booking a time with Lindsay, and Lindsay will kind of walk you through what we got. We'll do one of these every month, typically towards the end of the month. Other than that, go make some money. See you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.